Before we hop into today's video, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Next Level FUT Trading, which is a live trading service in which you're going to get trading tips, investment methods, cards to buy, sniping filters, etc. straight to your phone in real time by none other than FUT Peppy himself, the man who has made more coins than anybody else in FIFA Ultimate Team history. So you guys can copy his methods, get guidance from him in real time. You don't have to wait till a video drops. You don't have to wait till any of that. You guys can just get a notification on your phone. That's the player to buy. Now, I made a video on this about a month ago and it all went great. Everything worked out. But the biggest complaint was that you guys couldn't get involved in the UK because there were no spots left for your region. Well, I have good news and bad news. The good news is that you guys can get involved now in the UK. There are more spots open, and if you guys get involved now, you'll get in. The bad news is there are limited spots. So unless you're quick, you might not be able to get in. So go ahead and use the link down below. You guys can get your first 2 weeks for $1, and you guys can try out the service for yourselves. I've played against this Ederson card once now in Division Rivals, and after 24 shots on target to the opponent's 4 total shots, I won that game by 1 goal. So I've already decided that I need this card because he saves everything. I'm telling you what, this guy might even be able to save your parents' marriage. That's how good he is at saving things. He could save you 15% or more on car insurance. This card could save you from your sins, okay? If this card came out 9 years ago, I'm telling you, it would have been Brazil 1, Germany 0. That's how good this card is. And so I need to go out and do that. And I already have Team of the Year Courtois untradeable. I have World Cup Icon Petr Cech untradeable. Doesn't matter. I need Ederson. I don't need goalkeepers, but I need Ederson. That card is ridiculous. And today, FUT Birthday comes out, which means it's the end of the FUT Ballers promo. And here are some of the leaked cards that are coming out. And I'll give you a sneak peek. There's Rui Costa. But I want to remind you guys that during the FUT Ballers promo that we've seen, which got concluded with this unbelievable Ederson card with stats that could actually have him be your long shot specialist as well, we've also seen no packs get opened this week because there's nothing in packs. These are all objective and SBCs that came out during this promo, which means that even if you didn't want to save packs, you kind of were forced to because there was nothing of value in packs other than 83 to 85 rated SBC fodder. And so everybody has packs ready to open at 6 p.m. UK at the release of FUT Birthday, which is one of the biggest promos of the year. A lot of people say it's their favorite promo of the year. It's definitely top 5 for me as well. And if you guys remember the last time people saved packs for a promo, we saw that for Team of the Year, which also dropped Team of the Year icons. And we're getting FUT Birthday icons as well as FUT Birthday cards. So for this David Beckham, we can even see on the daily graph, not just the hourly graph, but the daily graph, how much cheaper he was on day number 1 than the next couple of days, which he got up to about 3 million from 2.4. But let me tell you the whole story because you can't see the hourly graph. You can only go back 14 days. This card was about 2 to 2.1 million after about 2 to 3 hours of him being in packs. So many people were opening packs all at once. And so all of the supply came for this card roughly at the exact same time, which meant that all the supply was competing to sell those cards at the same time. And once it got later into the night, and cards got more rare, and people stopped packing cards as much because 1, they might have been done opening packs for the day, or 2, they were just out of packs already. This card went up in price a ton. So he went from 2.1 million coins to over 3 million coins in just the span of about 10 to 12 hours. About $1 million coin profit after tax on every single card. It was amazing. Are we going to see something similar? I would say similar is the right word. I wouldn't say, yeah, it's going to be as extreme. Because for these icons, we're not going to see as many saved packs, and I'm not sure we're going to see as much demand or we're going to see as much buying power as we did during Team of the Year. But I still think that this concept is going to work. So keep an eye on all of these high-rated and in-demand cards during this FUT Birthday leaks that I'm about to show you, so that you can make sure that you're investing in these cards when they hit their low point after a few hours of release. Now, I'll tell you what, during a normal promo, they hit their low point maybe about, I'd say, 6 or 7 hours after release. But when you've got a promo where everybody saved packs, it comes a little bit earlier than that. So keep that in mind. Rui Costa's the first one. I don't think he's going to be an absolutely ridiculous card. Maybe if you're more in the medium budget range, this would be a good investment because I don't think, to be honest, that this card is going to be over 1 million coins, but I could be wrong. Then we've got Jairzinho. This card does look really good, and it's 93 rated, so on the higher end of rating, and the card looks really, really good. And on top of the fact that we saw Jairzinho, his SBC that came out earlier in the year, has been tearing it up against people in FUT Champs throughout the entire FIFA cycle, people are going to want this card, especially if they missed out on that initial SBC. Then we've got our first FUT birthday leak other than Pedri, and that Pedri is going to be an SBC. We already know that. I'll show you that card again in a second, but we know Pedri's going to be dropping as an SBC probably today at 6 p.m. UK, if not tomorrow. Then we've got Nunez. So 2 forwards in the Premier League, and we know that they're going to be a little bit in demand just because a lot of people have Premier League cards now because of the Futballers promo. Of course, they might also have Bamford, but these cards clear Bamford by a long shot because, in my opinion, the only elite card that really came out of the Futballers promo, the only elite card was probably Ederson. The rest of them that were just really good and kept up with the power curve, but no more than just kept up with the power curve. This card, Nunez, we knew his 82 rated was one of the most desirable 82s in the game. His ones to watch was one of the most desirable ones to watch in the game, and I think he's going to be one of the cards that rise the most on day one. I think we're going to see a huge rise on this card, especially if we see stats that look like this. Even if this card doesn't end up being amazing in-game, and to be honest, I really would rather have João Felix untradeable, despite the fact that his stats obviously don't look as good. But I need players that are shifty, good skill moves, and all of that. And that's just my type of player. Those are the type of players I like to play with. Darwin Nunez, those stocky strikers, don't work out for me as much, but I know that in general, that is the community's favorite. Those stocky strikers, those Erling Haalands, those lengthy boys. Those are the cards people want. And I think a lot of people will want to try out this card if we do end up seeing stats like this. Then we've got Puskas. This card could end up being the biggest overall rise in price on any of the cards that we see on day one, for the main reason that he's 95 rated, and that is really hard to pack. So even though we're not going to see a ton of these cards even drop during the supply, we're definitely not going to see a ton of them dropping later in the day, which means that if you can get in at any point of supply during the first few hours, you're going to have almost a monopoly on the market just by having one card. There's only going to be a handful of cards on the market on day one in general, and as we get later into the night, the people aren't going to be relisting every single hour, and so you can just list that card at a peak point during the nighttime and, steal a ton of coins from somebody who is going to be very unfortunate once Team of the Season comes around. Next, we've got Bernardo Silva. His card looks pretty good. Another Premier League player, if we haven't had enough recently, and he's going to be a center attacking mid, which we've had a few of those untradeable as well. The dribbling stat is definitely the one that stands out right there. Then we've got George Best here, 94 rated, another elite right wing FUT birthday icon coming out, and that card looks really, really good as well. Of course, the physicality is a little bit behind the power curve, but I think the rest of those stats, 93 shooting, 94 pace, 95 dribbling, it makes up for it for sure. Next up, we've got Thomas Muller, and to be honest, man, even as a Dortmund fan, I know that EA absolutely have shafted Thomas Muller over the past few years. His card continues to be the exact same copy-paste every single year, and it's never any good. It's always terrible. It's always terrible, and he doesn't deserve that. He's a really, really, really underrated great player, but his FIFA card always stinks, so I don't know how excited we can get about that. Then we've got Koke, and that's kind of a weird card. I wasn't expecting him to come out just because we're already getting Pedri, which is another center mid from Spain, also in La Liga, as an SBC. So interesting that they're going to drop two of the almost exact same card. Then we've got Zinchenko here, and I hope that they juice his card a little bit more than this, because to be honest, I don't even know if that's clear of the Andrew Robertson Winter Wild card. But it's not bad, and Arsenal definitely deserved to have some more promo cards this year. They haven't had a ton, especially given the season that they've had, but this will link to the William Saliba card that came out for FUT Fantasy a couple weeks ago. Now, you might ask, is Saliba going to go up in price because of this Zinchenko? No, it's not, because this is a tradable card, which the community in its mass is not going to have. Only a few people will go out and buy this card, and sure, they might link it to Saliba, but in general, you're looking for an SBC or an objective to ultimately change the course of a market, especially its complementary link. So if this Zinchenko was an SBC, then I would say, yeah, Saliba could be a great investment, but it's not. So that's the logic behind that. And it's a question I get every video, to be honest. Is this new player that's coming out going to, it links with this card. Is this card going to go up now? No, it's a tradable card. It's not really going to have an impact on the price of another existing tradable card. And of course, there's always small exceptions to that, but not often. Then we've got Matthias coming as another FUT birthday card. And I mean, well balanced. It looks like that center mid that's just going to be so annoying to play against. But it doesn't really stand out in particular in one specific stat. Maybe pace on a center mid that is really quick. But yeah, he's just going to be that center mid that is everywhere on the pitch all at once. Next up, we've got Ian Rush, another really good striker there. Then we've got Rivaldo coming as another FUT birthday icon. And then Cantona, to be honest, I think could be one of the cards that rise the most, similar to Ferenc Puskás. But if he only gets 92 rating, it could be a little bit easier to pack than Puskás. But he's also French, links to everything. And he's got 5 stats, 90 and above. I mean, that is ridiculous. Everybody's going to use this card, and they'll pay a premium, especially on day one. So with that being said, that could be a really good card. If you can afford it, not very many people will be able to pick up after the first few hours. You could make a lot of coins on that. Then we've got that Pedri SBC that I mentioned, all stats 80 and above, Hullet Club. Then we've got a goalkeeper. Can't get too excited about these because goalkeepers aren't really in demand for tradable cards very often, and they always become SBC fodder before other cards, even if they look great and have great links. It just doesn't make a difference. Goalkeeper cards and promos, not always the most exciting. And then we got Chukwueze, and we've seen a lot of cards like this year. I don't think that this card really stands out. It doesn't link super easily. I think it's going to be a pretty cheap FUT birthday card, but you have to have a couple of stinkers in every promo. We also have Marquinhos coming out. This could be great for any medium budget players. If you don't have millions of coins to spend on day one, this could be the guy. He probably isn't going to be over 1 million coins, so if you've got anywhere in that range, then go ahead and pick up this card, or maybe pick up a couple if you can afford. I think he'll rise a decent percent on day one into the night. Then we've got Ronald Koeman coming as a FUT birthday card. It's not a card that everybody gets excited about getting an icon, but he is part of the Hullet Club from center back, and he has great distribution stats. So if you value possession and you value not pissing away the ball from your center backs, this could be your guy. And to be honest, I've been using the Mascherano World Cup icon for quite a while now. World Cup hero card, I should say, for quite a while now. And he still is honestly great for me just because I know that he's always going to connect his passes and he's not a bad dribbler for a center back. So it definitely has its perks. Next up, we've got Emerson. I don't know if he's really that much better than the Vanderson SBC that we got about a month ago. So Emerson doesn't really stand out to me a ton, but if you need a right back, it's another option in the Premier League. I truly don't think that that's terribly exciting card. And then we've got Sal right here, almost in the Hullet Club, but a lot of great defensive mid stats for sure. We'll see what they give him on weak foot and skill move, because another thing that we have to consider with this promo, guys, is that we're also going to see probably a lot of weak foot and skill move boosts on these cards. In fact, the first ever time they started boosting weak foot and skill moves on cards that already existed in the game was during FUT Birthday a couple of years ago. Remember when Mbappe had a 94 rated card that came out during FUT Birthday and they boosted his weak foot to 5-star weak foot? His team of the season came out that was 97 rated. His FUT Birthday was just 94, but his FUT Birthday was actually more expensive than the team of the season because of that weak foot boost. So we'll see if that is going to be the case this year with these FUT birthday cards. That is going to be one of the more exciting things about it. And we also have to talk about the general market trends that we're going to see during this promo as well, because I think that with the new buying power and with the fact that people have been panicking due to FUT Birthday, they've been panicking due to people replacing their tradable cards with these untradable FUT Ballers objective cards, and just the overall drop in the market, we're going to see a little bit of a recovery now. And we've already seen quite a bit of recovery ever since we saw the biggest drop on like Tuesday and Wednesday. We're already seeing a recovery here Wednesday Wednesday night, Thursday, going into Friday, cards have risen. FUT Fantasy's Road to the Finals have recovered a little bit, but I think they could go a lot higher now as FUT Birthday comes out. Maybe not in the very first hour after release of FUT Birthday, but into the night and over the course of the next few days for those previous promo cards. We're going to get closer and closer to the end of the international break, as we are only about 7 days away now from club games resuming, and then just a few more days after that, we see UCL return. And UCL will go back-to-back weeks as well, so that's one of the perks of picking up these cards. If you're willing to hold on to them for that week, then you could get some great returns on them. So make sure you're taking a look at any of those Road to the Final cards that we've seen dropped in price over the course of the last week, because we're seeing still great premium prices on some of these guys that were super expensive on the first couple of days, like Upamecano's FUT Fantasy card dropped so much in price. He was close to 800K, dropped down to like 400,000 coins, and he's closer to 500K now, but in comparison to what he could be, especially if Bayern end up beating Dortmund at Allianz, which is in Munich. So I think they're favorites into that match. Of course, it's a must-win for them, because that would mean that they go over top of Dortmund in the table for Bundesliga. And so it's a huge game, and if they end up winning it, then they could easily go the next couple of matches and win all of those as well. Clean sheets is probably going to happen for Bayern despite their inconsistencies, but you also have to consider they did just sack Julian Nagelsmann, but I digress. If you guys want to go into all of the details of those players, I'm not going to go through them one by one and bore you guys to death with IRL footy talk as much as it might be fun to me. All right, let's go ahead and submit this squad right here. We're going to go ahead and get this Ederson SBC out of the way. And I might end up doing the objective as well, but I actually don't know how much time I have left to do it. Even if I don't do the objective, we still will end up having a relatively cheap 90 rated card for Ederson, because that Team of the Week I just submitted was untradeable, and then all of those other cards that I submitted came out of the 82 plus times 20, which we're going to have leftovers to do another 82 plus times 20. So overall, the way we've crafted this Ederson is pretty smart. And of course, we can unlock another 91 rated one. How much time do we have to do this? So we have a full other week to complete these Footballers cards. So I'm not too pressed on completing that right now. Then I'll do it on my own time next week sometime. But we do need to complete the squad building challenge, because you can't let these cards expire like the first one did. Where is it? Is it gone? Well, these cards are out for 7 days. The Madueke, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Kulusevski. But I don't see the Luis Diaz anymore, and I don't see the other ones. So some of them might be hiding from me. They're probably behind it, and I'm just not scrolling far enough. But I don't see Bamford in there. And I don't see Jack Grealish in the SBCs. But I'm probably just missing them. I'm probably just not looking hard enough, to be honest, guys. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end. And if you made it to the end of the video, I'm going to give you guys the secret comment word of the day. And the secret comment word of the day is whoever we get out of this pack. Which one do we want to open? This pack here, 75 plus rated rare player. Whoever pops up, type his name in the comments, and I'll drop a heart on your comment. Keita. It's Keita. Naby. So go ahead and comment Keita in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys making it to the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.